Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the Super Trucker Podcast. If you will, like, share, subscribe, leave any comments below of future ideas or questions you may have. Click the bell icon so you get notified of all of our future podcasts. And I'm Michael.
And I'm Christian.
And today, what are we talking about, man?
Today's going to be an interesting topic. What we decided to do is kind of deliver some of the experiences we've gone through during the week, try to keep it relevant and all that. So we're going to talk about real talk. All right, this is going to be our topic here.
Keeping it real.
Yes, that's what it is.
This is never easy, though, buddy. Are we ready to do this?
I think we are. It's simply to put information out there to help everyone. Once again, It's not to deter anybody from doing anything. No. But it takes experiences, right? No one likes to see anybody fail. So it's basically going to be based off of that. And why become an owner-operator? Right. Let's do some real talk on that. So what's the mindset behind somebody, a company driver, actually deciding to make that purchase, make that leap, and get into something for themselves?
So why become an owner operator? I mean, honestly, that's a scary move. I mean, I'm thinking about it from my standpoint to think of taking on that responsibility. So so anything we could talk about today that could help me figure that out and be willing to understand that a little better, I guess would be pretty helpful.
Man, so if we start in the beginning, right? What gives somebody the drive to go out and purchase that truck and make that investment?
Could it be different for each guy? I mean,
absolutely. I mean, it could be driven wise. It could also come from a level of frustration, right? As a company driver, you're looking at the individuals. You think they're making all the money.
Yeah.
You just think it's, truckloads of money coming in. And even if you were the guy doing shuttle work, right? Do you really understand what a shuttle pays? But just because he's come adapted to the home every day, the repetitiveness of it, the familiarity behind it. So is that what, hey, if I just owned this truck, it would be that much more gravy.
Yeah. I mean, do we understand what's happening behind the scenes? I mean, a lot of times I could see if I'm a company driver, I'm hauling a load, I know what it pays. All I can think about at some point, there's a middleman in here taking a portion of that. And am I able to have a full understanding of what it takes to get all that? Is it really just picking up the phone, booking a load, or is having your own authority or the own dispatchers and so forth? What kind of work goes into that? So why don't we talk about some reasons why someone would start considering that? I think one thing we mentioned when we were talking off camera was sometimes it has to do with home life.
Yeah, and then that's one of the most important parts of this, right? So you have to have the family buy-in, because this matters. As much as we say it's all about money and making money, the home life is important.
Yeah.
And if they're not supporting you on the home side, this becomes that much more challenging. And I think that was evident this week for us, where turnover happens and we're down a guy.
Yeah.
He embarked on an adventure that I don't think the family side was ready for. And I'm glad he was kind of honest about it. We're not going to drop names or anything like that, but at the same time, correlating the two and
right. Did they understand? And again, did he not have the opportunity to have the full understanding of what it meant? I mean, sometimes someone may misconstrue the idea that getting my own truck is this freedom to run how I want, do what I want.
Yeah, true freedom, right?
Yeah, and my life's gonna get a whole lot easier now that I own a truck. I'm gonna have to work. I can work less, make more money. Do you think sometimes we think that, be home more with my kids? And I totally get it. I cannot imagine, being on the road away from my family. So to you guys out there that are doing it now, my hat's off to you. Kudos. I mean, you're a one of a kind, and I know it's not easy, and I have mad respect for you guys that go out there and do that every day, especially those that have family at home. Especially little kids and stuff like that. It's hard, man.
Yeah, and I'll second that notion. I mean, I cannot do what they do.
No.
So my hat goes off to you and much respect.
Yeah.
So that first and foremost. But again, right? So when you're trying to improve your lifestyle financially, trying to take your family to the next level, whether it's getting the bigger house or positioning yourself to purchase a house and so forth, not really understanding what you're getting into, automatically equating into let me buy a truck, which would mean more money. Right. Yeah. So, but having that hard discussion at home, are they really ready to not see you as often? Because the balance is going to be there. You're going to have, let's say, the load with the rate per mile.
Yeah.
But what's happening behind the scenes, the struggle is the rate per mile is decent. You're going to tell your dispatcher, I need a little bit more money to handle that. And he gets that. He gets that extra money. But now it's still not a good load. On paper it is, but what's happening is the struggle with the home front. Is he getting the phone call from the family side to say, why aren't you home? Why?
Yeah.
So the rationalization of it just kind of gets lost in translation, and you don't really, the guy's confused. Let's be honest. First time owner operator.
It becomes an internal struggle. Well,
yeah.
In his mind, I'm going out to take care of my family, and the family's mind is putting out there to him, if they don't have that complete buy-in, that you're abandoning us in a way. You're not home like you're supposed to be, and that's something that as an owner operator with a family, you have to ask yourself before you even get to that point where you're ready to purchase a truck. Has your family completely bought into the idea of what is about to happen, and is it really true freedom? Is the idea of buying a truck mean I work less now?
I don't know. It's kind of like you're married to the truck, right? So once you're married to a truck, in sickness or in health, good times, bad times, it's going to be that. I mean, once you've dedicated to that, you pretty much don't have an option to. But
so it's not a commitment that we can just stand up and walk away from, right?
Well, it depends on who you're asking, right?
I mean, it's not one that you. I don't say it lightly. I say you don't want to get into that investment, as in. You know what I mean? Like, it's a big investment. I mean, it is.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of stuff is going to be on the table, right? Because the bills at the house don't stop.
No, your livelihood.
Every month that's coming. So that's your livelihood. And usually in your first couple of months, there's going to be expenses associated to the new truck. So what happens when on the home front, you're looking at that checking account and hopefully you got a little bit of money banked to the side.
I think that's important. I mean, this is an investment into your future, but it can't be something that's taken lightly. It's something that has to be prepared for. It's something that has to be bought into by the family. It's something that you have to ask yourself, why am I doing this? And I think if we follow these few recommendations of, is my family okay with this? Are they 100% on board and supporting me?
Are we disciplined enough to handle it? Bless you.
Thank you.
Mutually, is the family disciplined enough to handle it?
And that really comes down to that specific individual too, because the freedom of going out and having to self-motivate every day. It's different when you're a company driver. The phone rings, you get paperwork and email, your Qualcomm goes off. It tells you where you're supposed to be at, when you're supposed to be there, where you're supposed to go, expected time to get there, and all that's done for you, and you really don't have a lot of choice. But now that you've been given that choice, are we responsible enough? Are we self-motivated enough to get ourselves up, to get ourselves ready, get ourselves out there, make ourselves available to the dispatch team to make the money that we've technically, this is why we've done it. So it's family time. It's the expected money. It's the freedom of being able to be your own individual, but having enough willpower to handle that responsibility.
Right, because as you mentioned before, the commitment, right? So you got the commitments that you as a company driver, you never carried that burden of the on the financial side.
You didn't have to worry about it.
If I break down, to you it's just time.
Yeah.
You're getting home late, somebody recovered your load, this or that, the other. As an owner operator, you got to get towed.
Yeah.
You got to pay for this repair. You're probably losing a little bit of that. Whoever recovers that load, somebody got to get paid.
Somebody's got to pick it up. That's correct.
So that mine's free, or that freedom as a company driver of not carrying those burden, you got to be able to realize that as an owner operator now, all that is relevant. So now you carry that burden, you carry that potential cost. That's that either you got money saved up for something like that, or you have the discipline to understand that staying home just because
you can.
Yeah, because you can is no longer an option. Now it's a business. You have to be open for business.
I think if anything, when you become an owner operator, yes, there are freedoms that come along with it. Yes, you remove some of that middleman out of the picture. Yes, there's options that are available to you, but I do believe that it turns out to be more work. I mean, because it's something that you're used to having everything done for you All you had to do was just drive the truck. Now you have someone who really, because there's no forced dispatch if it's, with our company and many other companies like ours. So you have to make that decision. I can't make a guy wake up on Monday morning and go to work.
No, you can't. And I would truly, and I'm sorry to cut you off there.
I just was saying, did I buy a truck so I could stay home on Mondays? Because if you are, we could help you a lot before you make that investment. Just do something different that doesn't start on Monday, because this is not going to be successful. I just hate to see when good guys put their come in with great attitudes and they don't succeed, and everybody's left scratching their head to say why not. And I think at some point I'd like to make a podcast with some open discussion on why maybe owner operators do fail, but we'll save that for another time. But today is why become an owner operator. So there are some perks too, right? I mean,
absolutely, and I mean, it's just always important to understand that we all play in the same sandbox.
Yeah,
we don't control the market. You don't control the market either, and it's really about finding what's going to work for you in realistic terms, right? Because just because you purchased a truck and now you're like you mentioned, don't go out on Monday. The industry is not going to make up for that. The market isn't going to
compensate for your lack of effort.
Exactly, and at that point, it becomes a lack of effort simply because the truck was purchased. It's a business. You've converted to a business, and you're no longer a company driver. But now you're struggling with the home time. So if you're buying a truck to be home more and work less, I'd second
that thought too. Yeah, and. How do you feel about for the guy that's watching this video and he's thinking about going to purchase a truck to become an owner operator and he's looking for a company? How important is it that your partnership, the person that you align themselves with, no matter where you are, no matter what company you are, these are things that I think are extremely important. I think that is a big part of his success story, his or her success story, is who they align themselves with to start with. Because if you don't have somebody that has the same work ethic that you're going to come on board with, if you are that guy that's a go-getter, that guy that's ready to swing for the fences, not willing to hear no for anything, he's ready to go get. He's the guy that wanted the home life. He's the guy that came for the money. He's got the family buy-in. Let's say everything's lined up. Now, how important is it to find someone with that same vision?
And it's extremely important. And again, reverting back to today's topic, real talk, right? So I'm gonna something I experienced today. I'm gonna have to, I'd like to discuss that.
Sure.
What transpired today. Had an individual come in for an interview. We talked about expectations, what he's looking to do, what he currently does now, what I can do for him, and what I can't do, and so forth. And through honest conversation and a healthy dialogue, he's pretty good where he's at.
Yeah.
I think he's upset about the culture at his current place of employment.
Yeah.
He's upset about that, but the money's pretty good. At this moment, I can't beat what he's doing.
Yeah.
So in all honesty, I have to gracefully, walk away from that one, because that's a man's livelihood. That's people live off of that.
And that's not easy to do as a company when, of course, you want a driver, but if we're upfront, we're effective, and we're honest, and that's what we're preaching. That's what our podcast is about. It's not about our company as a whole, but as what we can offer you from our experiences that may be able to help you where you're at. And if we do such things, and if we talk about it here on the show, then we've got to live it out in real life, okay? Because otherwise, it's just empty words, and that's not what we want. So today we saw that in a perfect example. Of course, we'd have loved to have that guy. That was awesome,
Yeah, very nice truck as well.
Yeah, beautiful truck. I mean, and that's something you could tell right away when a guy pulls in with a nice, well taken care of truck. He's serious about business. I mean, he understands that's the money maker, and with that, it was.
But to operate, and it was difficult. It definitely is.
Sure.
However, it feels natural, because what happens, I mean, if we bring someone on under a false pretense, then it's a chaotic environment. It's chaotic behavior.
There's a lot of disappointment,
frustration,
disappointment,
resentment towards the company, resentment towards the industry. Dispatcher has no idea what dialogue or conversation was done, and can't understand why this guy's looking for something that we can't offer.
Right.
So all these pieces connect. And then that's what's important, to not, lying or misguiding or
for the sake of what? for ending something.
No.
It's better to end something that's going to end down the road nasty. Go ahead and end it gracefully, and then you got a chance later on, because we may get to a point where we are the right company for that guy. Right now, we may not be.
Absolutely, and I think that's there's probably more value in that to
Absolutely.
shake a hand and say not today, but if things change on my end and I can meet your business needs,
Sure.
I'll give you a call.
Yeah.
Or if things change on your end, then you can accommodate something different in your lifestyle and give us a call. So it's
Sure.
keeping that relationship. Remember, this is business to business. That's what this is. It's not personal. It becomes personal when people start to bring people on under false pretenses and so forth, and then everyone's jaded. And once people are jaded, then decision rationalization becomes compromised.
And then a wall goes up.
Yeah,
And the next guy that has to deal with that person suffers because there's so much of a lack of trust because of the scars that are left behind from the damage done of the relationship between the two the company and the owner operator. That was totally avoidable with some straightforward honesty. Look, we may not be right for everybody. Every company out there is not right for everybody, but that's why there's a lot of fish in the sea, right?
Yeah, but and then it's kind of funny, like when you look back at it, this week, I think it depends on the point of view. I had another gentleman that we made it to the final day of orientation, and it comes to the greet and meet with the dispatcher, and things changed for him in the ninth inning. He set forth a lot of limitations that weren't exposed in the beginning. He wasn't truthful, and not in a negative.
No.
Not in a negative way, but it was time to part ways before we even started.
Yeah, because the last thing you want to do is set somebody up for failure or yourself up for failure.
Yeah,
if someone comes here, no, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I want to ask this question while I have it on mind. I mean, as an owner operator, because this is what this is all about. This is about why become an owner operator. If you come into the game with that unicorn, as you like to call it, if you're chasing that unicorn and you put unrealistic expectations on any company, no matter who the company is, that don't match your efforts, don't match the requirements to meet those expectations, then will you not say that this whole journey that we're on would be complete disappointment on both ends? You as an owner operator is going to just be disappointed because you're certainly not getting the goals that you set for yourself, your financial goals, and then whoever the company and the dispatchers are going to be disappointed because the effort that this guy's putting forth doesn't meet the expectations he's putting on us. So
and that's what becomes a problem, the chaotic environment. So it's a perception, right? So to some people, maybe it's a bad week because we walked away from two guys.
Yeah.
In my mind, I think it's even though it wasn't what they wanted, maybe it wasn't what they wanted to hear, or it was kind of hard there. But I think that's progress. I think that's growth. Because,
but was it success in our eyes? I mean,
I would say so.
Yeah.
I mean, you're avoiding the inevitable. That's the biggest thing. We're both gonna lose money.
Yeah.
If I pretended that I can find this guy always guaranteed under 20,000 pounds as you wish, and no less than $3 a mile, who has that?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of frustration, a lot of disappointment, a lot of bitterness. Because I mean, sometimes we get into a truck where we've got these truck payments, we've got the family buy-in, but we go in with these unrealistic expectations and we blame the company for the failure that we're experiencing, And so we've talked about a lot of doom and gloom, but I think there's a lot of positive to becoming an owner operator. I mean, obviously that's the business that we're in. So there's absolutely success in it. And so we'll try to end on a couple high notes using some straight up scenarios, man.
Yeah, so that's it. So guys that are, that when you're thinking of becoming an owner operator and you're going to the different companies, I would say if you can go in there and put a face to a name and they're extending you that opportunity, I know I do it.
Yeah. Take advantage of it.
Take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you've been in the game long enough as a company driver or owner op, you could tell within 5 minutes of walking into an establishment if you want to be a part of that or not.
Yeah.
That's an easy one.
Yeah.
Ask to talk to a dispatcher. Ask to talk to the safety department. Ask, look around. This is an investment. No matter which way you look at it, it's at this point you're only investing time.
Yeah, and when you line yourself with a company, make sure you're lining yourself up with a company that has the same culture and same goals and same mindset and same desire to see you succeed as you do for yourself. If you don't experience that, or you're not finding that, as Christian said, move on. Put forth the effort. It is kind of like a marriage too in itself. I mean, you got to date a few girls before you marry one. So you know what I mean. It's rare that we get that lucky and the first one's the right one forever. But and I'm not saying it's always going to be a forever company, because obviously people do come and go. But try to find someone there's not the perfect company out there for anybody. Let's be real. There's always going to be issues, problems.
It's a compromise.
But
while you're on the marriage topic,
yeah,
marriage is a compromise.
Absolutely.
So it's on the same token.
And you find someone with a like mind, a like thought process, and I think you'll find the success reflects your efforts. The more time and effort you put into it, the more return you should see. And that's with any business. Owning your own company, owning your own truck does not mean you work less. If anything, it means you work harder. It just simply means you see the fruits of your labor a little more effectively. And so to me, being an owner-operator, yes, no? What do you think?
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think being an owner-operator is an excellent way to further expand your career.
Do your homework.
Make more money, but be diligent.
Yep.
Do your homework.
Yep.
Do your research. Put a face to a name. Meet the individuals. Ask for a tour if possible.
Worth the time, man. It's worth the time.
And look at the equipment. All this kind of stuff matters. It's not it's not something that should be taken lightly.
No.
And that's just an investment of time into your business, into the success of your business. And again, on the positive note, on everything, I mean, I feel good. I think that we relayed a lot of information to the two individuals, and even though at that moment maybe it's not the best
what
feeling,
they wanted to hear, but they walked away with some knowledge. They walked away with some experience, and you know what they got? They got honest and effective treatment from us.
Yeah, and with respect at
Yes,
all times,
absolutely,
complete
absolutely.
respect, and actually we can shake hands, and hopefully we cultivated even a relationship that we check in on each other from time to time. That could be a possibility. But again, people, this is a business. That's what we're here to do, and it's a unique business where there's so many moving pieces to it.
Yeah.
And all these dots that sometimes we don't think are relevant connect. And don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself saying the family's going to adapt when at the end of it all,
they're not. Yeah.
They're not, because that's going to cost you a lot of money, and you're going to be worse off for that.
Yep. So, being an owner operator, make sure you have the buy-in from the family first and foremost. Make sure it's right for you and your family. Make sure that you are capable of self-managing, self-motivating, because you're going to need that. You can't count on a dispatcher to pick up the phone, wake you up on Monday when it's time to roll. You be ready to roll until ask them what you got for me. Do your due diligence and your homework. Align yourself with a company that has the same thought process, the same culture that you do, and the same belief system of you want to make sure that your efforts are rewarded. Anything you want to add to that part of it?
And be ready to change habits, right? Because,
old habits die hard.
However,
Yeah.
You're no longer a company guy,
Right.
or if
Yeah.
it is an owner operator, just switching companies, they're just going to do things different. And for whatever reason, you were looking, so something wasn't working.
Yeah.
I mean, there's good takeaways. Maybe there was something positive that certain company did, but different successful companies just have different ways of doing things, and that's okay. It's just a matter of how can you adapt and be successful in that new environment.
As long as you're getting to if point A to point B, and you're getting where you need to go, and your financial goals are being met, everybody's going to have a little bit different style, a little bit different way of getting there. But make sure that it lines up with the efforts that you're putting in. I mean, that's all you can do. Stay strong, stay focused, stay motivated, guys. I know it's hard. I know it's a scary adventure, but we're here with you. If you have any questions, any way we can help you, please feel free to reach out via email, supertruckerpodcast@gmail.com. You can leave a comment below. You can call, whatever. We're here for you to answer any questions, any criticism, anything. So, if you don't have anything else, man?
No, that's it.
Nope. So, as always, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And as always,
be safe
and keep on trucking. Thanks for watching the Super Trucker Podcast. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Click the bell icon so you get notified of all new content. And as always, keep on trucking.